Hello, folks. This is James with the Yeshua is King Ministries. I know it's been about 3 weeks since I've done a sermon. It's a very good reason for that. The reason is that I've been going through a lot of study and a lot of changes. That sometimes happens when you're going down the narrow way. And I do apologize if you were looking towards the weekly sermon. Um, but there's a lot that has been happening. Learning personal things I've been going down the narrow way with, dealing with ex-family, because when you're going down the narrow way, you have to let go of your whole family. I know the people like to poo-poo on that because they think, well, that's a cult. No, no, that's been labeled by some people we're going to be talking about today. Okay, first of all, there's a man called David Straight who has happened to die a couple of days ago. I think it was on the second. Um, uh, he apparently had been in this Patriot, you know, state. What do you call it? Maybe like Texas State Nationals and California State Nationals. And I never liked the man. I've forgiven him for everything he's done. There was a lot of lying going on with him. He took a lot of what AVR, Anna von Reitz, was doing, and he took that and spread it out even more, which spread the lie. Okay, so he created more problems than he was helping. I know a lot of people look up to him, but man, is that guy? He's really good at lying. He had a video back there. I'll put it up on this. 7 minutes of not even answering as to who killed David Straight. Well, nobody killed David Straight. Okay, that's a lie. What happened was he died of cancer. His followers were asking. He's lost like 6,000 followers. His followers were asking. I thought beating cancer was a cinch, no big deal, and yet he succumbs to it and dies. His explanation is that he had it down 40%. This was in December of 2024. And then he came back and said, but it spread into, it went into tentacles and went into 300 tumors in my stomach. Can you imagine having 300 tumors in your stomach? I don't think that was true, folks. Um, there's a lot of things, especially when I was listening to his video, 7 minutes long, of who killed David Straight. That he there was all lie. There's nothing there, guys. There was nothing there. And the sooner people forget about what that guy was trying to pass around, the better. Like I said, I forgive him, but you still have to deal with fixing all the problems that he caused in the movement of going back to your original country and getting outside of the United States. He just ruined it, absolutely ruined it. A lot of other people are doing the same thing. I'll just give you one example before I move on. Okay. Um, American State National. Okay. There's no constitution that recognizes that. Not one. That status. It's made up out of thin air. It came out of Anna von Reitz group over there. And just letting you know, there's no such thing. American National, that does exist because it's in the Constitution, a Constitution, not the United States Constitution. So just gives you a hint on what the issue is. All right, I'm going to mark that off there as to what I was going to talk about. Um, Tried to warn a lot of people. Okay, but that was from what I considered an internal enemy that was lying to a lot of different people. Made a lot of money. Made a lot of money, and his wife went to jail. Still in jail. I don't know how he got out, but hundreds of thousands of dollars on something that he had nothing to do with, and took it from somebody else, spread all of the lies, and made a lot of money. Sorry, folks, if you really looked up to him. It is what it is. That's the truth. Not going to lie to you. Not going to sugarcoat it. Okay. Um, Two things that we have are some serious, serious threats. I know we have Yeshua. I know we have the set apart spirit. I know we have the Father with us, and we're with him. Okay. Because I've always said in my lifetime, people say, well, Yahweh is with us. Well, I'd rather find out where he is and get with him. I'm not worried about me. I'll get with him. But there's a couple of sources, and this is a part of the reasons I was I haven't done uh, a sermon in a while, and the main reason is that some other stuff is coming up. Muslims, which I call political Islam, and John Todd. Okay, now John Todd is an individual. Just go to YouTube and look up John Todd. Okay, this is a guy back in the 70s that answered a lot of questions I've had throughout the years. What did this and who did that and all that. Now, John Todd was telling all the secrets of the Illuminati because he was a part of it. He was one of the guys in charge of it, and he was telling people, or he has been telling people, in these videos. They all were put up about a year ago. He was talking about C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis was a devil worshiper. There are more people than you think that are involved in this. Now, how do I know this? Because we went after the Church of Satan. And this is when I was doing government work with the government of the United States of America. We went after him for doing what he does. Okay. And when we did, he had enough power to take down 14 websites that we had, and GoDaddy stole them, just stole the websites. I'd never seen anything like it. Well, GoDaddy's a devil worshiping organization. You would be surprised about how many are devil worshiping organizations. How many people, like senators and congressmen, that are devil worshipers. You'd be extremely surprised of how far it has gone. This was back in the 70s, folks. He was saying and talking about senators and congressmen and the Satan worship movement. Yes, it got big in Hollywood. That's just the tip of the iceberg. He even talks about the Star of David and what it is. It's a hexagram and all that. He gets into a lot of this, and he talks about who, what, when, and where. You got to listen to it. Just put in John, John Todd, on YouTube and listen to him for just a little while. He talks about he was sat on the Council of 13 that take orders from the devil, Satan. He said, now I know people have heard this before, but he verified it. He said that the Rothschilds are the ones that run everything. I give you, for instance, just figured it out today. I was watching one of those videos where you go in and, people go and vacate in another country. Then they put it on tape and throw it on YouTube. Okay, this is how they make their money with likes and views. Well, you go to Egypt. Okay. Now, the last I heard of Egypt was Islam took over. There's another, I won't bring her up because I can't remember her name. But Egypt was taken over by Islam. However, if you go there, there's a lot of tourism. So you're thinking, okay, a white woman goes over there and she's non-Muslim and none of them are being forced to wear a hijab or anything like that. Okay. Now, everything that happens in this world, you see it. It's on um, the Simpsons, the predictions they have, and everything else. That's all being done through the Rothschilds, their family, because they summon the devil over there. This is according to him, John Todd, who was there and had done it. Um, uh, he even has a code book for world takeover. It's amazing. Council 13. Now they all take care. They run certain amounts of organizations and satanic organizations in the country. So they get their orders from them, and then the Rothschilds get their orders from the devil. That's how it works. They do their prayers and all their all this crap, and they summon him, and then they get all their orders from him. It's all over the world. So go back to Egypt. Egypt was taken over by Islam. Well, Islam, every time I've seen Islam take over a country, it's not real fun to live in that country. Okay. Especially when they put Sharia law in it. Sharia law makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And then they say, well, they're righteous people. Well, political Islam is not, they're not righteous people. However, they are useful people. Let me give you an example. They they set up a bunch of tourism after Egypt was taken over. They set up a bunch of tourism, and now the Muslims run all the tourism. That's how they work. And that's what they're trying to do in the United States. This is why they want Muslims over here. It's the Rothschilds that are doing it. They're being told to bring them over because they have that religion and that political belief that was created on not more than 700 years ago. So it's Johnny come lately type situation. So it was after Yahweh. So that's not, Allah is not the true God. We even, back in the day, even challenged them and said, who was first, and why is Allah the best now and not Yahweh when Yahweh was here way before that, or at least showed up at the record books. And we challenged them. Not one came forward because they couldn't. What could they do? They couldn't rebut what we were saying. So everybody knows it's a false religion when you see it. It's a false belief. It's a communist political system that is on steroids. That's all it is. And when they go to pure hadith, it gets a nightmare. It is a nightmare. I'll give you an example. Is one woman was accused of tearing up the Quran. Well, everybody knows, okay, that this is what happened. They told this guy, that guy, and it got around in a big old mob. Okay. The cops are going to get the hell out of the way, right? The mob came in, got her, and stoned her to death, killed the woman. No trial, no nothing. Just, hey, let's kill her today. And then they caught her on fire. The next day, found out she was innocent. That is how they operate. Mob rule. And what they do is, here's let me go and get yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's some stuff that's coming out. Mel Gibson's coming out with it also. More Muslims are winning American political offices than ever before. Sharia law incoming. More Muslim Americans ran for political office during this year's midterms than ever before, 153 in total. That's according to a report from the Council on American Islamic Relations. Now, the Council on American and Islamic Relations is a terrorist organization. That was proclaimed by the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and that's over in the Middle East. Okay, and Jetpack Resource Center. And more of them won their races than in any past election. But you know why they're doing that is because they're saying the right things, and the people here are extremely ignorant as to what's getting ready to happen to them. Okay, because what happens, the Muslims may not be aggressive towards you. Political Islam is aggressive towards you under the Hadith, Hadith, as far as I understand it. Okay, I think that's what they how they spell it. So that's what you have to watch out for. It's political Islam, not Muslims. Okay. Okay. Now, this year's elections proved to be historic. Okay. They're trying to push it off like it's historic. And this is from the PBS NewsHour. With 89 Muslim American candidates winning local, state, federal, and judicial seats across 25 states. Okay. Pedophiles like them because they like to marry 9-year-old girls. So the pedophiles love it. Um, they can have the excuse that if they rape a child, they can say that they had a sexual emergency. Now, there's another tape that I'm gonna file. I'll more than likely put it on Rumble. Yeshua's King Ministries on Rumble. It's the same channel or same name. And I'll put that tape there. And it goes along and talks about how they take over. They're bragging, basically, saying we're gonna have more people in the office than anything else. Now, by law, okay, this is called the Law of Nations. By the Law of Nations, it's illegal for them to even run for office, especially when they confess that they're doing it for a specific purpose. So when they run for office, even in the United States or anywhere else, what they're doing is they go in and take an oath to that Constitution of the United States. That's what they do in the state constitution. Then they turn around and say, we're going to implement Sharia law under the Hadith, under Islamic law. Well, folks, that's illegal. Can't do that. They don't qualify for office in any way, shape, or form. They're doing it, and it's called a capital crime when they do that. And it's in the Law of Nations. Now, I'm going to see if I can get the American here, the American National Assembly. And this needs to be dealt with. Now, the Law of Nations, Book 1, Chapter 3, specifically on page 91, addresses the capital crime. The Constitution and laws of a state are the basis of public tranquility, the firmest support of political authority, and a security for the liberty of the citizens. Okay. Now, I'm going to say for the freedom of the citizens because liberty goes into Lady Liberty, and that brings up the devil, which is Statue of Liberty. That's who that is. All right. But the Constitution is a vain phantom, and the best laws are useless if they not be religiously observed. The nation ought then to watch very attentively in order to render them equally respected by those who govern and by the people destined to obey. Now, like I said, what's happening is the reason why they're bringing a bunch of Muslims in is because they're getting ready to turn the country into nothing more than a tourist spot. And they're going to have them take over all the tourism to it. And the Rothschilds are in charge of this. This is what they're doing. They believe that they can, I've heard this out of their mouth, they believe that they can convert a bunch of Muslims into Satanism. I mean, really, there's not much difference. But I don't think they're going to get it done. I don't believe that they can control this. But they can get rid of the Christians. So this is what you'll have left. You'll have the Hadith, Islam, and then you'll have the Rothschild running them. So you'll have devil worshippers here. that are being promised a bunch of high positions, and you have Muslims that will run all the main stuff. That's what they do now. They do all the work that nobody else wants done. Now listen to this. To attack the Constitution of the state and to violate its laws is a capital crime against society. If those guilty of it are invested with authority, they add to this crime a perfidious abuse of the power in which they were entrusted. The nation ought constantly to repress them with the utmost vigor and vigilance, as the importance of this of the case requires. It is very uncommon to see the laws and constitution of the state openly and boldly opposed. That's you're putting Sharia law in, folks. You got to realize this. Okay, this does fit within the belief. Okay, in Yeshua. I'm just telling you, the Yeshua's King Ministries is not going outside of the purview of Yeshua himself, the King. He's the true King, so it is what it is. It is against silent and gradual attacks that the nation ought to be particularly on its guard. Silent and gradual. That's what's happening. We call it creeping Islam, because one day after another, all of a sudden, they're in charge. It's like they become the once they become the majority, your voting system's out. You're done. They're going to outvote you every time, and every one of those people will be changing laws like crazy. It'd be unbelievable. Okay. Um, Now, sudden revolutions strike the imaginations of men. They were detailed in history. Their secret springs are developed, but we overlook the changes that insensibly happen by a long train of steps that are but slightly marked. It would be rendering nations an important service that to shew from history how many states have thus entirely changed their nature and lost their original constitution. This would awaken the attention of mankind, impressed thenceforward with excellent maxim, no less essential in politics than in morals. Principles obsta. They would no longer shut their eyes against innovations, which, though inconsiderable themselves, may serve as steps to mount to higher and more pernicious enterprises. Now, what I'm saying is this. Now is the time, okay? Right now is the time to start calling as many people as you can and help them understand what these people are doing. I'll have a video you can show them, okay? Out of their mouth, not ours. Okay? And the reason why is because they love to cut Christians' heads off. Everybody seems like to slit their necks and all that if they don't bow to Allah. Every one of us has seen it. Remember that everybody was in orange and everything, and they got them out there on the beach? Now, that could have been staged or not staged. Either way, I know what happens. There was one young lady that thought, oh, the world is great and wonderful. Nobody can hurt us. Nobody will hurt us. It's just a wonderful place to live. Well, sorry, she was on the road backpacking for 2 months and ended up in a tent with a Muslim, and he cut her head off. Absolutely true. You got to watch them. They're not your buddies. They're not your friends. They're here to take over. And if they can kill you, that gives them a point to go to heaven. And I'm telling you folks right now, I've been in both heaven and hell. You know where all the Muslims are? They're in hell. Every single one of them. There's not one that is not there. Those who turn to Yeshua, they're in heaven. Those who didn't are in hell. And there are thousands that go there per day that go to hell. This is what I mean. Now, if you care about your young children and not being, because they're already doing it in England. England's been taken over. It's over for them. Their children are not. They've been given the oath to Allah and Muhammad. I remember seeing it to little English kids. Well, that means they've turned away from Yeshua, and when they have, they did it under oath. They're done. It's toast. The hell they will go. And uh, this is why you have to be careful about letting this happen. So this is what needs to happen. Not one person who is a part of Islam can go into any office whatsoever. None. Zero. Now that's going to be a little bit harder in dealing with devil worshippers. However, the Christians need to go in there and take that over and get rid of this. Start deporting these people. You have imams, they call them, that are openly, notoriously calling for your death. If you believe in Yeshua, they're calling to kill you openly. Go look it up. And have been doing that for the past 15 to 20 years. No threats. FBI doesn't say a word. No one else. You know why? Because most people in the FBI were devil worshippers. We're getting rid of all the devil worshippers out of there. Most of the people in the Democratic Party are devil worshippers. There are some. There are some in Republican also, but not as bad. There's still some pretty decent people there that are trying to do something from the inside. Okay. I don't know about Trump. I don't know what side he's on, but I don't care. I don't need Trump. Okay. This is Yeshua. This is the time to ask Yeshua to pray for you. Remember, he's the high priest. To pray for you. His prayer is the only one that's answered to his Father. The Father is he will listen to his prayer. He will not listen to yours. You've been condemned. However, you do have Yeshua's ear as a mediator for you. Ask him to please remove these people that believe in Islam from this land, cleanse it, and to destroy those that are devil worshiping openly and silent or quietly. They're not helping us either. Just the prayer itself shows an intent. Just the prayer itself. So remember, John Todd, and watch out for what these guys are doing. I've got the video downloaded. I'll go ahead and put it up on Rumble, and you guys can see it for yourself. What they do, how they do it, how they're planning it, and it's getting pretty bad. I don't want nothing to do with that. I think it's detestable. It's unbelievable to me. You know, they look down on everybody else that are non-Muslim. Well, I look down on them for rebuking Yeshua. I look down on them. I don't. They don't think I'm human. I don't think they're human. It's kind of that way, you know. It's because do unto others, and that's how they do unto people. Okay. Eventually, what's going to happen is the schools you're going to lose control of your schools. It usually starts with the kids, the children, and you'll lose control of schools, and it won't be black kids beating up white kids anymore. It'll be Muslim kids beating up both black and white. Soon that will come up. It happened in England. The same thing happens here. So these industrialists are being controlled by Rothschild. Rothschild doesn't care about you. All they want is destruction. They want destruction of a Christian. Anybody that follows Yeshua, anybody that proclaims Yeshua publicly, they want to get rid of them. They hate them because they follow the devil, and the devil hates Yeshua. Okay, that's a huge thing for everybody to see and understand. Like I said, I've been looking at all the evidence for the last 3 weeks. I would mean to do a sermon, and then it kept going. Mean to do a sermon, then we kept going into something else. Then to do, oh, I got to do a sermon on that. Oh, no, something else. Something else comes up. It's been like that for like 3 weeks. So I will talk more about this. I've got some groups of people. I've asked them to go ahead and uh, cry out that Muslims or people of Islam do not qualify for office in the states. And these are the reasons why. And there also could be a lawsuit in U.S. One of their U.S. district courts. Now, I don't know if the demons or the devil worshippers are going to stop it. We'll see. But I think that those people are under some kind of spell because they just do what they're told. And if they want out, they get killed. If they want out of the Illuminati, they're killed. And it's a big old mess. So they do pretty much what they want. But understand that it's a Rothschild family that's doing this. Okay, they're the ones that are running things. They're the ones that have all the lawyers over here that run the International Bar Association in the City of London. Okay, this is what when you're watching the John Todd videos, he goes through and people ask him questions. What about this? What about that? Well, he tells everybody what's going on. Oh yeah, that was us. That was him. That was this. Was that he was the one that was doing some of the stuff that people were asking. I did not know this. Jimmy Carter was not a Christian. He did not believe in Yeshua at all. He was a devil worshiper. They thought he was going to be put in charge, but at the time, but he didn't. He never ended up in charge of anything. So, just wanted to let you know that's where you're at right now. This is the beginning. I'm going to keep going with this. Warning people, get moving. I don't care if you want to believe that I'm some kind of Islamophobe. Could care less. This is reality. This is not your society that has pit both of you, which you all have allowed. The people in the United States have allowed themselves to be split in two. That was the actually the plan of the uh, House of or the Church of Satan and all that. That was all their plan. Devil worshippers. They want you all apart and against each other. They want that, and they got it done. Rothschild wanted it. He ordered it because the devil ordered him. I know this stuff sounds way out there, folks, but man, go do the research and you're going to start getting shaky a little bit because you're going to start seeing, man, we have got enemies all around us and they're within. So most of those people that are being fired, I don't think that they're being fired because they were dealing either predators, which are devil worshippers, and devil worshippers, open. Okay, that's the go listen to John Todd. You'll hear what he's saying to you and saying, yeah, we've got involved in this, or they were involved in it. They had turned to Yeshua, and the command was apparently is to tell everybody everything, tell the Christians everything you know, who was doing what, when, and where. It's interesting stuff. I've always suspected of certain things that have been done, and he verified my suspicions. Very interesting stuff, folks. Don't let this go. Don't let it drop. I'll keep pushing it over and over, and you got to get them out of here. They need to leave. And I'm talking about the political Islam. You've got to get it out of here. If you don't, your your children are going to be butt up in the air 5 days, 5 times a day. Have to listen to that crap over and over. You know how well they sing. We got to listen to that crap 5 times a day until it gets so bad. They're already doing it in New York City. There's one section in New York City that they play that crap on their speakers. Okay, the whole prejudice thing. Please ask Yeshua to pray to the Father to remove those spells, because those are spells that are put on you to make you feel guilty. Don't let that happen. This is reality. You can't mix Muslims with Christians. It doesn't work. None of it does. You're either for Yeshua or you're against him. That's his own word. You can't be tolerant of one and what do you call it? Allegiant to another. Okay, you can't do it, folks. It's not going to work. They're going to slowly come in and try to get you to bow to Allah under some kind of BS oath they got. I sat there and watched um, a Muslim kid give a Christian a freaking oath, and the dumb kid takes it. He was in England, like 14, 15 years old. I mean, obviously the kid doesn't understand what the hell he's doing. He's just trying to keep him getting beat up. They don't follow the law. They don't care about all that. What they care about is pleasing Allah by killing everybody else, and then they go to heaven, and Allah serves them like a servant. That's what they believe. It's it's crazy. And man, are they surprised when they end up in hell. You see the shock on their face when they realize, uh-oh, Christianity was right, or Yeshua is who he says he was. And he was this setup, the way this is all set up for him to mediate for us and all that, absolutely true. So I want to let you all know this is serious business. This is not to be ignored. I'm not saying go out and start killing them. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they can't hold office, and it's about time they go home to whatever other country. They got 53 countries they can go to that are all Muslim. If they want to be Muslim or they want to do the Hadith crap over here, they need to go. As simple as that. And eventually they'll all go. It'll get pretty hot over here. Don't need to be here. We're getting hit by two fronts. And Rothschilds even runs the Vatican. Believe it or not, he does run the Vatican. And this is why we were getting reports of Francis when he was in the hospital, getting visions of these demons coming after him. And he's yelling, get these damn things away from these bastards, I think he called them. Get these bastards away from me. Well, sorry, bud. That's your future, because you proclaimed the devil was in charge and all this crap. You've been pushing it all. What do you think's going to happen to you, dummy? Seriously, what do you think's going to happen? We come back and say, "Oh, is it all show?" No, they take that seriously in heaven. Not good. Allegiance is probably one of the biggest things that they have that you go through. It's a test you go through about 2 to 3 years. I went through it for about 50 years. They've been trying to get me to go, demons and all that, trying to get me to go against Yeshua and the Father and the set apart spirit for that long. And it's really been ramping up in the last 3 to 5 years. And the tests get harder and harder. But I asked him why he does that. He says that's to strengthen you. I want you strong. I said, so be it. If that's what you want. You're the king. That's the way it is. And I'm not saying that as being a smartass. He is the king. I respect him and I do what he asked me to do. So it is what it is. Um, we need to push this, folks. You need to make those prayers. Ask him to pray to our Father in heaven to remove these Muslims from our midst. They need to go. These political Islam folks. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch the video. All right. Matter of fact, I think I'll go ahead and just play the video for you here, and then I'll put it on. Let me see. I'll put it on the Rumble. Okay, because I think YouTube might remove it. Not exactly sure. Here it is. Okay. This is why you need to. Okay. Let me share sound. Alrighty. And here we go.
They already have it. There's housing tracts, communities in Irving where the street names are in Muslim. They have an Allah Akbar, whatever that means, court. Their school teaches the Quran and they shun Western ways. The residents say this is one of many communities that Texas will be the start and the home for all Muslims. It's already happening, folks. The further I dig, the more that I see, and they're boasting about it. So when Governor Abbott swears that there is no Shahira in Texas, they have Islamic only parks where it's their parks. These communities have a huge mosque in the middle of them. Everybody walks to the mosque. They don't allow any pets, no dogs, because they don't believe I don't know what it is they do, but they don't like dogs. They're not allowed in the community. They're already here. They're already doing it. They say this is the future. We're trying to stop Epic City, and they've already done it. This will be another one, and that's why when we say they want them throughout the whole state, they're working on it, and they got help. I mean, I guess we didn't know. I didn't know, but it's happening. It's in Irving. The name of the community is Villas of Andulas. Look it up.
And there you go. This is how they're doing it. They're doing it by getting into your offices, your state offices. They start locally, and then they start changing the laws locally, and then it starts working its way up to the state. And it, like you said, it's already happening. So it's just a matter of time. So you got to get in there and you got to start calling people. I think they'll listen right now because the people have spoken, and the Republicans are running on that. In other words, I would highly suggest that you get on, go along with the deportation to get along because the deportation is happening. So I have a feeling you start bringing this up to these guys. Um, they may not, they may start working towards stopping it. Okay, these no go zones. Guess what? We're gonna walk back in there. The people that follow Yeshua need to walk right back in that town and take that town back. Just do it smart. So they can't use anything like your prejudice or something. Just do it smart. What they're doing is illegal, folks. It's a capital crime. And they're already shunning everything. They come in to take over. That's it. So you've been warned. You've been warned by this preacher, this minister. All right. And I remember talking about this a lot, like 10 years ago, and it's gotten worse since that time. But people weren't ready to listen. Maybe now you're ready to listen because all this stuff's coming out. We're going to be going further and further into the satanic stuff over the next couple of weeks, just so people understand how bad it is. Okay. Everybody talking about Hillary Clinton? That one's Moloch worshiper. She always has been. She'll sacrifice chickens and crap for her religion. And this is how they get things done. This is how they get suicided. So, fair warning. Wake up. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.